Assalamu alaikum. Once again, this is part two of our lecture series right here at the Kumatul Masjid. We have a special guest tonight, so let's listen.
If you can kindly recite with me a special dhikr. We'll do this together. I want to hear all of you reciting it to Allah in a special dhikr. La ilaha illallah, 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 The Prophet ﷺ once mentioned to the Sahabas, he told them, إِذَا مَرَرْتُمْ بِرِيَادِ الْجَنَّةِ فَارْتَعُوا فِيهَا. If you pass by a garden, then join it, go in it. So the Sahabas now, they're wondering, what is this Riyadh al-Jannah? What is this Garden of Jannah? Because the Garden of Jannah is in the Akhirah, in Jannah, paradise. Yeah, the garden is there, beautiful gardens. So the Prophet ﷺ said that if you pass by a garden of Jannah in this world, then join it. So then they asked the Prophet ﷺ, وَمَا رِيَاضُ الْجَنَّةِ? What is this Riyadh al-Jannah you're telling us about, O Messenger of Allah? And he said, Hilaka bil-dhikr, the circle of dhikr. When people got together to do dhikr, that is a garden of Jannah in this world. So if you pass by it, join it. Go in there. And so there, he mentioned several things, several places that let's see by show hands, how many of you have visited Medina before? Visited Medina before? Raise your hands if you visited Medina before. So we have a few people, brothers and sisters, you visited. If you go there, the Rawdah Sharifa is usually closed like sometime after Isha. And then at Tahajjud time, after midnight, they will reopen. And then you will see people line up in a crowd in front of like Babu Salah, the first door number one in the masjid. The guards will open the door, and when they do that, people like start to rush and run to get into the Rawdah. Because the Rawdah is a garden from the gardens of Jannah. You want to get in there. You're praying the Rawdah Sharifah. Similar for the sisters, they have their time of visitation that they would love to visit, and then they will try to go to the front of the place where they would open it for the sisters to go into the Rawdah. And once again, they want to rush and go in there. Because when you pray in there, it's like praying in Jannah, in paradise. It's amazing. It's amazing. So the Prophet is telling the Sahabas, إِذَا مَرَرْتُمْ بِرِيَادِ الْجَنَّةِ فَارْتَعُوا فِيهَا. If you pass by the garden of Jannah, join it, go in there. And when they ask, what is this Riyadh Jannah, this garden of Jannah? The Prophet told them, Sallallahu Hilakatul Dhikr, the circles of Dhikr. And I want to talk about that today. Yesterday in my lecture at Fifth Company, we have Imam Fazi from Fifth Company who came here as well. He hosted the program yesterday. I talk about the concept of Sharia, Tariqa, and Haqiqa. Three important concepts. Sharia, Tariqa, Haqiqa, and how they are related. And I mentioned about the concept of Mushahada and Muraqaba. We talk about. I want today to mention the pillars of the journey to Allah. Journey to Allah. There are different sets of pillars in Islam. What is the most popular one that you know? The 5 pillars of Islam. Yes, that's the most popular one. The Prophet ﷺ in the Hadith says, Bunya al-Islamu ala khamsin. Islam is built on 5 pillars. And then he mentioned them. So this is how we know that there are 5 pillars of Islam. And then the second most well-known one, the 6 pillars of Iman, Arkanul Iman. He said, Amantu billahi wa malaikatihi wa kutubihi wa rusulihi, and so on and so forth. You memorize it and go to madrasa, and so on. Those are pillars of Iman, the articles of faith. There is another example, the 3 pillars of the Muslim Ummah. The 3 pillars of the Muslim Ummah, based on what Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala reveals in the Quran. وَلْتَكُنْ مِنْكُمْ أُمَّةً يَدْعُونَ إِلَى الْخَيْرِ وَيَأْمُرُونَ بِالْمَعْرُوفِ وَيَنْهَوْنَ عَنِ الْمُنكَرِ. That this Ummah, this Muslim Ummah, has 3 pillars for its existence. الدعوة إلى الخير, الأمر بالمعروف, والنهي عن المنكر. And for anyone to be truthful in their claim to be part of the Muslim Ummah, they must have these 3 attributes. Ad-da'wah al-khair, invite people to goodness. Al-amru bil-ma'ruf, enjoin righteous conduct. An-nahy al-munkar, to forbid wrong. The 3 pillars of the Ummah. So important it is. And then there are the 3 pillars of the journey to Allah. What is this journey to Allah? Everyone is on this journey to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Muslims, non-Muslims as well. This is the journey of the dunya. You're traveling to Allah. Traveling to Allah. There is a phrase that we recite to tell us that we are on this journey. Like we recite it when we hear news of some Muslim dying, passing away. What is it we say? Yes, inna lillahi wa inna ilayhi raji'un. This is the journey. Where we came from Allah and we're going back to Him. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala created us, placed us in this dunya, and every day we're traveling back to Him. So everyone is on this journey to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And the destination is Yawm al-Qiyamah, the day of judgment, where we stand in front of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Everyone, Muslim, non-Muslim, good Muslim, not so good Muslims, and so on, everyone. The thing is, what you need to concern yourself about is, where will you be on this journey to Allah when it stops for you? And it stops when you die in this dunya. Where will you be on this journey? Will you be close to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala or far away from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala? And so, like in non-Muslim, we say they are also in this journey. So they're born and they start their journey, make one step. But they don't believe in Allah, so they're not making any other steps. They're stuck there on this destination journey to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. A Muslim, they're born and they start their journey. And every time they go with they are progressing on the journey, getting closer to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So, where do you want to be on this journey to Allah when we meet Him on the day of judgment? So there are three pillars of this journey that I want to share with you today. The first of which is istighfar. Istighfar. Which means to seek forgiveness of Allah. And the simplest formula of istighfar is to recite Astaghfirullah. Astaghfirullah. The second letter of this word Astaghfirullah, it's Sin. The first letter is Alif, then Sin. Astaghfirullah. Sin. And in Arabic language, this Sin is called Sin at-Talab. Sin at-Talab. The sin of seeking. Right? It's manifesting in this act of istighfar. Another example. In terms of a place, we're in a masjid, Qamatul Masjid. So, the root word that's derived from sajada. Sajada, which means to make prostration. And when you add the meaning in front of that, it becomes a place of prostration. Masjid. The place of prostration. And so on. Nature of the Arabic language. So, Astaghfirullah, Sin at-Talab. What it means then is that when you say Astaghfirullah, you're actively seeking the forgiveness of Allah. It's not a passive concept. You just say Astaghfirullah, Astaghfirullah, Astaghfirullah. No. When you say Astaghfirullah, you're actively seeking the forgiveness of Allah. You're actively begging Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala for forgiveness. This is what you want. You're striving after it. Sin at-Talab, the sin of seeking. When you say Astaghfirullah, remember this point. Even if you need to write things down, you can write things down, no harm. You make notes and so on, because then it helps to remember. So the first pillar is istighfar, to seek forgiveness of Allah. On this journey to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. How do you travel on this journey to Allah? And then it's based on the command of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala in the Quran. And whatever I'm telling you today, I'm relating it to the Quran. I'm not giving you my opinion, no. I'm relating to you what Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala reveals in the Quran. So at the end of Surah Muzammil, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala reveals, وَمَا تُقَدِّمُوا لِأَنفُسِكُم مِّنْ خَيْرٍ تَجِدُوهُ عِندَ اللَّهِ هُوَ خَيْرًا وَأَعْظَمَ أَجْرًا وَاسْتَغْفِرُوا اللَّهَ إِنَّ اللَّهَ غَفُورٌ رَحِيمٌ. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala reveals the Quran. Whatever good you do, you will find it with Allah. We talked before about doing as much good as you can do. You find it with Allah. Therefore, you must seek the forgiveness of Allah. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is commanding us to seek forgiveness. Wastaghfirullah. That's a command from the word. And verily you must know that Allah is Allah Rahim. Allah is most forgiving and most merciful. So this concept of istighfar and the purpose, the objective you want to achieve with istighfar is self-purification. Self-purification. You purify yourself. Purify yourself. So you are getting closer to Allah with self-purification. You know, sometimes I meet different sheikhs and scholars in different countries, like senior people, and you go in their presence, and they have their sohbah, their tasbih. We have it here, and they're busy with istighfar, astaghfirullah, astaghfirullah, astaghfirullah. Even when they talk with anyone, silently they're doing it, astaghfirullah, astaghfirullah, astaghfirullah. And they don't have time to do anything wrong. All their time is taken up in teaching others, or in studying, researching, reading books, reading Quran, Ibadah, that's all. They're not having time to doing any sin or so, but still doing istighfar, astaghfirullah, 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 like that. The greatest example of this is the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. In the hadith in Bukhari Sharif, it's mentioned that the Prophet alaihi salatu wasallam would seek forgiveness of Allah more than 70 times a day. And in another hadith, 100 times a day he would seek forgiveness of Allah. And he's a prophet, he doesn't do anything wrong. And in fact, in the Quran, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala promises him total forgiveness for everything before the revelation, everything after the revelation. This is after the Treaty of Hudaybiyah, as we return back to Medina. In Surah Al-Fatih, إِنَّا فَتَحْنَا لَكَ فَتْحًا مُبِينًا لِيَغْفِرَ لَكَ اللَّهُ مَا تَقَدَّمَ مِنْ ذَنْبِكَ وَمَا تَأَخَّرَ. In that way, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, by the revelation of the Quran, is telling the Prophet, you are totally forgiven for everything before and everything after. Still, he's doing istighfar every day. Because it's an important concept. It's self-purification. You don't do istighfar because you did something wrong. That's the lowest level. That's the lowest level. You do something wrong, say astaghfirullah, astaghfirullah, begging Allah subhanahu forgiveness. But even when you don't do anything wrong, you're reciting istighfar. You're saying astaghfirullah, begging Allah subhanahu for forgiveness, because it elevates you. It takes you closer to Allah. Astaghfirullah, astaghfirullah, astaghfirullah. So you do it all the time. And so this is another homework item I want to share with you today. What was the first homework item? Can you tell me? Quran project. At least one page a day. You don't realize you get homework to do when you're coming to the masjid of the program, right? but you are. So make a note of it. You'll benefit tremendously. You'll benefit tremendously. And I want you to tell all your loved ones who are not here today, family members, relatives, friends, tell them about it, what I'm saying today. Let them do it as well. And they will thank you on the day of judgment. Because you told them to do it. And they're doing these things. And when they see the rewards from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, they will thank you. And you will get great blessings. So spread this message to everyone. So the first pillar is istighfar, to seek forgiveness of Allah. And the purpose is to achieve purification. You want to purify yourself more and more and more. And the more you do that, the more you're elevated closer to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And you can do this at any time. When you're driving to work in the morning, you can be doing istighfar. You're driving home in the evening from work to home, you can be doing istighfar. You're at home, you're doing some errand in the kitchen, cooking some food and so on, you can do istighfar. And so on and so forth. Whatever you're doing, you can be doing istighfar. You say, Astaghfirullah, Astaghfirullah, Astaghfirullah. That's the first pillar. You want to purify yourself, purify yourself. And the second pillar is called salawat, which is to invoke blessings on the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. To recite, Allahumma salli ala Sayyidina Muhammadin abdika wa rasulika nabiyil ummi wa ala alihi wa sahbihi wa sallam. To recite this as much as you can, inshallah. And this is the formula to invoke blessings on the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. So you recite this salawat all the time, as much as you can. And the objective is to gain closeness to the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, to become closer to the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, to hold on to him, to strengthen your relationship with him through salawat that you do inshallah. And in doing so, you establish a special relationship with the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Allahumma salli ala Sayyidina Muhammadin abdika wa rasulika nabiyil ummi wa ala alihi wa sahbihi wa sallam. And we mentioned the ayah of istighfar in Surah Muzammil. وَلَا تُقَلِّبُوا بِأَنفُسِكُمْ بِخَيْرٍ تَجِدُوهُ عِنْدَ اللَّهِ هُوَ خَيْرًا وَأَعْظَمَ أَجْرًا وَاسْتَغْفِرُوا اللَّهَ إِنَّ اللَّهَ غَفُورٌ رَحِيمٌ. This is called the ayah of istighfar because Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is commanding us to do istighfar. And there's an important principle. You know, when you can recite astaghfirullah by yourself and so on, and in a fiqh categorization it's called mandub or nafil. Right? Different actions in Islam have different categorization. There are fard actions in Islam. Give me an example of a fard action in Islam. Yes? This salah, which does that, Asr salah. This is an example of a fard action in Islam. Then the second category is a wajib action in Islam. Give an example of a wajib action in Islam. Ahim salah again. Witr. Salah witr. That's wajib. Then thirdly is sunnah mu'akkada. There are actions which are categorized as sunnah mu'akkada. And next, fourthly, there is sunnah ghayr mu'akkada. And then there is mandub and nawafil and mubah and so on. Actions are categorized in different ways. So doing the dhikr, just reciting like that, is mandub, preferred, recommended. But when you recite this ayah, the ayah of istighfar, وَمَا تُكَلِّمُوا يَنفُسِكُمْ, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is commanding us to do istighfar, وَاسْتَغْفِرُوا. Then it becomes wajib on you to do istighfar after reciting this ayah. You see the point? And then the wajib action is a higher level priority. You get more blessings for doing it than a mandub action. Just by the same thing you're doing, astaghfirullah, astaghfirullah, but the way you do it, how you recommend it, you're getting the additional blessings. I hope you understand this point. Then, for the salawat, now the second pillar, the evidence is in the Quran, Surah Al-Ahzab, the ayah of salawat, that you all know. إن الله وملائكته يصلون على النبي يا أيها الذين آمنوا صلوا عليه وسلموا تسليما اللهم صل وسلم وبارك على سيدنا محمد. This is called the ayah of salawat. There are different ayahs in the Quran that have different labels. Different labels. Give another example of an ayah in the Quran that has a label. The hint is it's the greatest ayah in the Quran. And not that you just recite it also together. Ayatul Kursi, yes. After Salah, we do it. We just did it when we finished Asr Salah. We said Ayatul Kursi. And it has many great blessings. Ayatul Kursi. Now, what is the blessing of reciting it after Salah, after each part of Salah? Can you tell me? Why do you do it? Huh? Yes. The Prophet says, if you recite Ayatul Kursi after each part of Salah, the only thing between you and Jannah is al-maut, death. What it means that you die, you go to Jannah. You see? So you make sure you do it from now on. Even at home. When you're at home, you do your salah, your fard salah, recite Ayatul Kursi. And then you do all the dhikr, subhanallah, alhamdulillah, and so on. Fine. But make sure you do Ayatul Kursi. Every time. Teach your children to do it. Your family members, your loved ones. It's called Ayatul Kursi, the voice of the throne. It's a treasure on the throne of Allah. Ayatul Kursi. So similarly, there's ayah of salawat. We mentioned ayatul istighfar, then there's ayatul salawat. Inna Allah wa malaikatahu yusalluna ala nabi. This is in Surah Al-Ahzab, chapter 33, verse 56. For those of you taking notes, write it down, because then you can make reference to it and teach others. So in this ayah, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is commanding us to invoke blessings on the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Ya ayyuhalladhina amanu sallu alayhi wa sallimu tasliman. Allahumma salli ala sayyidina Muhammad. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is commanding us to recite salawat in that way. So similarly, when you recite this ayah, then you're commanded to do salawat. When you do the salawat, you are doing a wajib action. You get more rewards than doing a mandub, nafilah. It's a beautiful, amazing concept that you want to do, inshallah. So, this is another homework item, to recite salawat every day. 100 times in the morning, 100 times in the evening. Istighfar every day. 100 times in the morning, 100 times in the evening. You know, to recite it 100 times, just a couple of minutes. Not too long, but you get great blessings. So this is the second pillar. After salawat, after istighfar salawat. The third pillar, the journey to Allah, is called tahleel. And tahleel means to reaffirm the oneness of Allah by reciting La ilaha illallah. In that way. La ilaha illallah. And this phrase has great benefits. Many great benefits. La ilaha illallah. When you recite it, Ghazali mentioned that it goes along your book of deeds, your book of records. And it sees the sin there, it's erasing it. And it continues moving along your book of good deeds, erasing any sins you have there. That's what it does. Among many great things. La ilaha illallah. And the objective of this is you go to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So what is the methodology of the journey to Allah? Self-purification, you purify yourself. Salawat, hold on to the Prophet ﷺ, and then you go to Allah. This is how you go to Allah. And you mentioned the 3 verses that command us to do these 3 things. And again in the Quran, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala reveals, وَابْتَغُوا إِلَيْهِ الْوَسِيلَةِ. Seek the means of nearness to Allah. And that means of nearness is the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. This is an important concept for us to understand. How do you travel to Allah? And this is the hallmark of the Sunni way. The Sunni way. This is what the Sunni Islam is all about. How do you go to Allah? Self-purification, hold on to the Prophet, go to Allah. The non-Sunni groups, and you know them, they have to be in that also. The non-Sunni groups don't accept this concept of you have to hold on to the Prophet. They say, go directly to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Follow Quran and Sunnah, so for example. They say these things, but it's based on a lack of knowledge of what our scholars have taught for 14 centuries. The great scholars of the Muslim Ummah, what they've taught for 14 centuries in that way. So the methodology is purify yourself, hold on to the Prophet, travel to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. You need to know this. And for those who claim that they want to go to Allah without the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, they can never arrive there. They can never arrive. The secret of you getting closer to Allah is the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. So the 3 pillars, I want to understand this. And to try to do this every day. Istighfar, salawat, tahleem, 100 times in the morning, 100 times in the evening. We try to do this. And here in the masjid, Imam Nishad is leading the dhikr group here. When you do it? The second Thursday of the month. That you could join with him, speak with him, and join the group here. And those of you in other Jamaat, I mentioned Maulana Bishar and others, try to arrange it in your homes, in the masjid, because you have to do it every day. So in your homes you can do it with yourself, your wife, your spouse, your parents, your children, your siblings. Invite them, and let them do it, sit down with them and do it. It's a great gift you can give to your loved ones. And then when Masjid has it, like here at Kumoto every second Thursday, you do it inshallah. So try to do this as much as you can. 100 times each one of these 3 items. Astaghfirullah, Allahumma salli ala Sayyidina Muhammad, la ilaha illallah. You'll get great blessings. And if you do it more, you get more blessings. And the more you do it, the more you're progressing on the journey to Allah. The more you're progressing on the journey to Allah, the closer you're getting to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And you find that things change in your life. Things change in your life. If you If you're having problems performing your 5 daily salah, it's difficult for you. You're not missing it and so on. Then with that niyyah, you recite this dhikr right here. It's called al-wirdul am, the foundational dhikr of the journey to Allah, al-wirdul am. And that's what Imam Irshad leads here in the masjid. Maulana Tariq, one of the khatibs here, he supervises it. Inshallah, I want all of you to be part of this. And then those of you in other masjids, implement it there. And in your home every day, you do it, inshallah. The three things. Salawat, istighfar, salawat, tahleel. Inshallah, you will find. So, you have any problems praying 5 times a day, you need that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala bless you. And you find that little by little, you're changing, you start doing it. You have a bad habit. Let's say you get angry. And sometimes the husband, he claims he's not, he doesn't get angry. Well, ask your wife, she will tell you. You get angry. You quarrel with the food is not hot enough, and so on and so forth. Why did you cook what I like to eat and so on? No, why would you want to cook in the kitchen? So you get angry. Right? You do the wirdul am with this niyyah to get rid of your anger, you see it goes away. Like some people, they smoke and they want to get rid of it, but they can't keep the habit. Do your wirdul am with that niyyah that Allah subhanahu take that bad habit away from you, and you find it goes away. Some Muslims drink alcohol, for example. They want to stop, but they're not able to. They stop for 6 weeks and they go back to it. Do the wirdul am every day. We need that Allah subhanahu take away that bad habit from you. And it happens. It happens. This is why it's called the foundational dhikr of the journey to Allah. It takes you closer to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. You find you're not a bad habit. You lie. You tell lies to people and so on. And you don't like it because it causes problems. Do the wirdul am to get rid of that. Inshallah, it will happen. And so on and so forth. So I want all of you to commit yourself to reciting the wirdul am every day. And we'll give you a special ijazah after Maghrib, inshallah. I want to do a special dhikr for you. It won't take too long. After Maghrib, we'll do that, inshallah. So we'll take a break now for Salat al-Maghrib. Alhamdulillah, we're getting more and more blessings for our program. We did Asr together, now we do Maghrib together. And the blessings are multiplied more than 27 times. So you get a lot of blessings for our program today. After Maghrib, we finish, we come back and we will resume, inshallah. وصلى الله تعالى على سيدنا محمد وعلى آله وأصحابه.